Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendez, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
All right, hey guys, today I'm with Shakirra Torain. How are you, Shakirra?
I'm doing wonderful.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
So excited we got to link up and do this podcast episode today.
I know, long overdue.
I know, right? And we're not with the waka waka waka. Hey, Shakirra. We're with the Shakirra Torain.
Yes,
and
baby.
That's no period. So do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Shakirra Torain. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to Brooklyn. Right now, I'm an entrepreneur. I have 3 businesses. One, which is my first business that I ever started, was Terrain Republic. So Terrain Republic is more my creative directing and my producing for editorial or commercial products for people or like clients in the fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and luxury industry.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And how did you get into that? Because that's so diverse.
Ooh, long story. So when I was a freshman in high school, I guess some scouters came to our school. I went to Bayard Rustin High School, by the way. And I was just sitting there drawing anime.
Oh, wow.
Inuyasha.
Yeah.
And a guy stood over me while I'm drawing.
Yeah.
And you know, you like,
can I help you?
Can I help you? He's like, that's really good. Long story short, he just put the card down. He was like, come to an interview. We're interviewing new for an internship program. I didn't know what it was. He said, just come through. And I'm like, 9 times out of 10, when you hear that as a child, you're like, wait, is he a stalker? No, but I told my mom.
Yeah.
My mom couldn't make it, so my grandmother took me.
Oh, that's very sweet.
And the next thing we know, the address led us to Marc Ecko Enterprises.
No way.
Yes. So
wow.
I went in the door. There's Marc Ecko. One of my mentors, which was Damon Butler.
Oh, wow.
Nell Daniels. And they were the ones running the C program, which stand for Sweat Equity Enterprises.
Oh, wow.
So it was a nonprofit organization for kids in high school, teaching them how products are made.
That's amazing. So
I got in, and I learned so much there. How the products are made, the presentation. They schooled us on everything. I work with a lot of companies in Sweat Equity Enterprises, working with brands like Radio Shack. One of my favorite brands that I work with was Nissan.
Oh, wow.
My mentor name is Brian Thompson. Shout
out Brian Thompson.
Yeah. So that was honestly the moment to where I felt like, oh my God, I could really do this full time. And then afterwards, I was like, you know what? I've never been the type to work for someone else. So I was like, you know what? With all my knowledge and I'm learning from these big successful people. I met the CEO from Skechers there.
Oh, wow.
I work with Frog Design, being in that program, Best Buy. Even people from Victoria's Secret, they used to give us a concept, tell us this is what we want. Then we used to have to use our imagination and draw out products for these specific companies, telling us what they wanted, and they trust us to be able to design it. And remember, we're in front of marketing execs, vice presidents of these different corporations, because that's how it really is. When they tell you to design something, you have to sell it.
Yeah.
Why this product's going to make money. They put us through the ringer, but that's why I got so comfortable talking to people. And, you know, sometimes people get intimidated by people that have money. I was like, I learned so much in that program, and that's where I got my head start being in design.
That's amazing. And do you feel like growing up in Brooklyn, because I was born in Brazil, you know that, but I always admire people in New York, because I always feel like growing up in New York, you have access to so many things, and you grow up at, I think, much faster than any other country. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like kids here are so much more smarter than anywhere else I've been. Like, they're just so they adapt things faster. You know, they're like street smart and book smart. Do you think being from Brooklyn kind of like guided you almost to be in that spot at that like exact perfect time?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Because Brooklyn, New York, like I was born, you know, I'm Aquarius, and my birthday's February the 1st, 1991. And growing up in Brooklyn, it was so diverse. Everybody played together. It didn't matter what race, what creed, what religion. Everyone was just one big happy family. If you had problems with one person on the block, you had problems with everybody on the block. So being around people and individuals of different nationalities and cultures, it really teaches you a lot, that you're able to have that dialogue and be like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know that. And you may not agree, but we still had that respect. And one thing about me, you know, a little black girl from New York, I love Asian culture because I used to watch Asian movies with my grandma from 36 Chamber of Death with Gordon Liu.
Oh, wow.
I grew up with Jet Li, Donnie Yen.
Oh my God, yeah. Definitely.
Yes. And I used to watch anime with my aunt. Shout out Shamika King.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah. And we used to watch what is it, Adult Swim. That's what all Cartoon Network.
I remember.
That's what I used to watch. Like even after school at 3 o'clock, what is it called? Toonami. Sailor Moon used to come on. Dragon Ball Z reboot.
Oh my God, Dragon Ball Z. That was like my go-to.
Yeah, exactly. So I almost felt embarrassed because, you know, me being a black girl is like, oh, you know, I wasn't black enough growing up. And that used to bother me with my self-identity a little bit, because I'm like, oh, you know, they see you as one way. Yeah. But when you're the opposite, they're like, why you act white? Yeah. That used to bother me. Just being in art in general and drawing and stuff like that. Oh, wow. I felt so different. Yeah. And that's why I was so quiet. I didn't like to talk to anyone, 'cause I feel like they didn't understand me. Growing up in Brooklyn, being around different cultures really helped me grow up in a sense, being able to have conversations with other mature individuals and learning about different things. So I think, yes, growing up in Brooklyn really did help me develop a self-identity. You know, most people don't have that, but I'm grateful to have that. That's amazing. Well, two things. I think that the fact that you like anime so from such an early age, and then that helped you get the opportunity with Marc Ecko. But then also reminded me the story. We were talking about this before we started the podcast. That girl from Danity K, you know? Remember Dawn Richards? Yes, I remember. I was watching a little like doc about them, a documentary, and then she was saying how she was drawing anime, and then it was like all girls, and it was called Danity Kane, and then like, you know, the record label saw it and then said, oh my gosh, this like we want this to be the name of the group. Yeah. But that's so funny they say that, because it's always the people that I think are so futuristic and, you know, business savvy that are always the ones like from an early age that, you know, are different, but then, you know, that helps them in the long run almost. You know? Most definitely. Like I love anime. I still watch anime to this day. You know, a lot of people think that, oh, you know, anime is not a cartoon, by the way. Yeah. They have adult dialogue in there. And just the stories, like sometimes it's really weird that you could relate your life to an anime character, because they go in deep. And one thing about anime, they don't discriminate against talking about real life issues that happen today. They just do it in an animated form. You know, that was my safe place, you know. And drawing, anytime I was sad, depressed, I always went straight to drawing. Oh wow, me too. Because it allowed me to create this little bubble, you know. No one's not judging me. I'd be in a room by myself drawing for hours. Especially after my uncle died when I was in, I think middle school. That's where I started to draw a lot. And do you still have like some of the drawings
from that age?
My grandmother do.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, my grandma. Every time I drew a picture and I dated, she has like this. This
like a
big
binder.
wow! And she has all my drawings in it. So shout out to my grandma.
Shout out, grandma.
Yeah, she. One thing, then another thing. My grandma, she really taught me to learn how to keep memories. You know. It didn't matter whether it was a diploma, if you got certified in anything, graduation, it all went to her.
Wow. Is she a Scorpio?
My mom's my grandmother.
Grandma,
My grandma's what, October 6th?
Oh, I don't know if that's a Scorpio, but I do that word. Like, that's like a Scorpio thing to like keep track of memories and everything.
So, so she always collect everything.
That's amazing.
And my mom does the same thing too.
Oh, that's even better.
Because I'm very irresponsible when it comes to like birth certificates and stuff. So my mom, my mom got that from her mom. It's just like, listen, like, here, take all my paperwork. And I'll just ask you for it later.
That's so funny. That's a very like millennial thing, right? It'd be like, you ask your parents, oh, like, I need my social security card. They're like, what do you need it for?
Yeah, exactly.
Even though you're supposed to have it and be an adult about it.
That's like if you need anything, the mama got it.
You know what's so funny? Because like in Brazil, like we put all of our, unless you have a safe, like for the really important stuff, but like diploma, like birth certificate, whatever, we put it like underneath our bed. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah.
And I had like Jamaican friends that do that too. Like I remember we were like we were talking about this, and they said, oh, we just like keep it like in our parents' bedroom, but underneath the mattress, so they lift it up every time you want it. You put the mattress on your head and you start digging through it.
Actually, see, what's so funny that you said that? I seen like now with TikTok and Instagram, they do a lot of like this spoofs that you could relate to when you was a child. I seen a video with the parent. They said parents be like at the bottom.
What you need from here?
What you need? And they have all the paperwork and the document in between the mattresses. Yeah, so that's why I was like, anything I ask for, I ask my mom.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's amazing, like to go back and treasure those memories. Do you ever like go back and look at your previous drawings?
Yes, I do. Just recently, because sometimes when you create something and you date it, once you date it and you put that stamp on it, it's like going back into the future. All these memories and these you remember how you felt when you drew that. And that's why a lot of people, I feel like, take artists for granted. Sometimes they just be like, oh, I can do that. I feel like some people really don't appreciate artists or artistry, period. And you have to think about, why did that person paint that, sketch that, draw it? Because they probably was going through something at that time. It's maybe not be powerful to you, but to them, it has a whole story, and people don't get that. That's amazing. At all.
That's so funny you said that, because I had a previous guest, shout out Tris McCall, and he was here, and he was talking about that, because I said, oh, like how, like, your interest in art, and he was like, oh, how do people get in art? Why did they do what they do? And then all of that, and he says sometimes art gets overlooked, and I think that's beautiful that you said that, because that is true. People think, oh, I could do that, or they don't understand how much emotion and time and discipline and hard work goes into a piece of work,
and they don't. And even with today, and not saying there's nothing wrong with it, like if you want to be a writer and work behind the scenes, even people that work behind the scenes don't get the credit that they deserve, with certain things. Because like I said, if you don't know certain contracts and stuff like that, you're not familiarized with percentages. And I just learned about, what's it called, something property, where if you help someone create something and you don't sign that, I guess, copyright form.
I forget the word, but it's like P. It's like starts with a P, right?
Yes. And I'm learning that now. Like, there's so many different contracts out there that you have to research, and it's just like no different. Like me, when I produce photo shoots, some contracts you forget. Like even a property release form. If there's one tiny logo in the background, you can get sued for that.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Especially
it could
if you don't
be
have
so
permission.
Small. It don't matter how small, how big. You have to
That's so funny you say that, because right before, when we sat down, right before we started recording, there was a beverage here with the logo, and I said, "Oh, do you mind if I take this out, because I don't want to take a chance." But yeah, I mean, you have to be so smart, and you have to look out for yourself, because there's so many sharks out there, as we previously discussed off camera. But yeah, you got to know your business. And what's an advice you would tell your younger self, like, with everything that you know now? Like, what's something that if you could, you run to baby Shakirra and be like, "Girl, you need, please Google this, invest in this, think about this."
Damn, sorry, you put me on the spot. No, honestly, what I would tell my younger self, and you know what's so sad? I feel like with people, you spend your adult life running from stuff in your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I even have to tell myself this today. Mm-hmm. Stop and don't take things so personal.
Yeah.
When I was younger, oh my God, I took everything personal. Don't disrespect me.
Me too.
And this, that, and the third. But then you end up realizing that silence is the biggest, you won the battle ever. Because I feel like all that energy you put in yelling and screaming, and it's like, damn, I just wasted so much energy. What did I get out of that? Nothing.
Because time is the biggest luxury, I think. So, when you can get to be, the happiest people and the most, how do you say, conquered people in the world, the most carefree people. If they don't agree with you, they're like, okay. Nowadays, somebody tells me, the sky is green. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Great. Have a great day. But the younger me, if it was younger us.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold my phone really quick. Let me handle this.
In high school, I was known as the clap back queen.
Uh-oh.
Because I didn't put energy into an argument.
Yeah.
Now, you put your hands on me, that's something different.
That's a different story.
But I used to annihilate people with just my words and my presence. It didn't matter who you was, guy, girl, anybody. I was like, anyone could get it. But now, it's like going back to what we was talking about of contracts and, artists and stuff like that. If people critique your work, don't take it so personal, because it's not personal. Mm-hmm. These people have a job, I would say that would be the biggest thing, because when you start to take things so personal, it's very stressful. Mm-hmm. And like we were talking about, that's where you have to protect your mental health. If it's not negative, don't feed into it. Yeah. So just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with you.
That's what I would say to my younger self.
Oh, that's beautiful. So going back to, because actually that was going to be my next question, mental health. If you want to elaborate a little bit on that, what do you do for yourself to take care of your mental health so you don't have a mental breakdown and get overworked?
To be honest with you, and this may sound so cheesy.
What?
I have mother and daughter days with my mom. Oh my
gosh, that's not cheesy at all. That's amazing.
My mom, honestly, is one of my biggest inspirations. I don't want to cry, but
you can't.
My mom is one of the strongest women I know, and she teaches me to be strong. Mm-hmm. Not be so available to other people. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of people in this world that don't deserve you. Mm-hmm. And as a child, normally when your parents say something, you be like, whatever. Yeah. But it's not until you get older.
They're like, oh my God, they were right.
Exactly. Till you really understand that everything that my mom said, she... in fruition now, everything came to be, and now I listen to her more now than I did when I was younger.
Me too.
Because you have to kill people with kindness. Because people smile in your face, but they're thinking so many ways to hurt you. Yeah. And that's why I tell people, stop calling everyone a friend. Yeah. This is how I protect my mental health. Mm-hmm. When someone makes me mad, I call my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My mom be like, let it go. No, I'm so serious.
Remember that scene in the Bad Girls Club? She's like, Mom, I'm about to go home because I
yes. Her mom was on the other line.
That's how I am when I call my mom. I was like, I swear to God, please.
No, because you ever see those cartoons back in the day where you had the angel?
Yeah.
And you had the little devil on your shoulders? Yes. Like, my little devil be like, yo, you better
go for it.
Yeah,
do it.
go for it. Annihilate them. Like, but my mom be like, my mom is like half angel, half devil. She said, listen, Shakirra, just keep being your bad self. Mm-hmm. Like, F what other people think, because if you don't have haters, if no one's talking about you, you're not important.
You ain't doing nothing right. No, it is true. Like, don't let anybody deter you from your path.
Yes. And I love the relationship I have with my mom. And that's what keeps me strong. Mm-hmm. Because I look at, especially the school that I went to, everyone used to comment me on my relationship with my mom. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't have their mom, dad, or neither parent to guide them. So I never try to take that for granted. Yeah. And I tell people, you need to understand the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to create a family and pass on what your grandparents or your mom has taught you to your children. You never want your children to want for anything. Yeah. That's why you go through things as a child and older to overcome it.
That's so true.
So when your child is born, you can give them the heads up. Yeah. But if you don't go through things, you don't become, like what you talked about earlier, cultured, learning about other cultures. How is your child going to respect other cultures when you're not interacting, and stuff like that? That's why if I had children, I would want them to adapt in different areas. Mm-hmm. Different type of people all over the world. I want to travel with my child so they can know sky is the limit. Yeah. I want to expose them to different cultures and, travel with me different countries. So anytime they're feeling sad, they'll be like, you know what, I want to go to Dubai. Mm-hmm. I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go here. I want to go there.
That's funny you said that because I follow I forget her name, but she does like traveling, and she's always joking. She's like, "Oh, therapy is this much money, but so is a round trip ticket to like Bali, for like a good mental health day." But it is true. I love that, and I love that because I have a good relationship with my mom too, and I call her like all the time, good and bad. Mm-hmm. But I feel like a lot of people, I think it's so weird when people don't. Like when some of my friends, it's like they're so standoffish, or they're like, "Whatever, mom," you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's weird how certain generations think it's like cool to treat your parents with respect and kindness, and some people don't think it's cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like I don't know.
You know what's so funny, to continue to what you were saying? That's another reason why I love being around different people. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about just race or religion. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about people's lifestyle could be different. Yeah. I have friends that don't have much. I have friends that have a lot. Mm-hmm. And what's so funny? My friends that don't have as much, I inspired them to want more. Mm-hmm. And my friends that do have a lot, I teach them to humble themselves all the way down. Heart, and so I'm like that balance, because think of it like this. You could be dead and gone tomorrow, and what do you want to be remembered for? Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Not even that. Like if you, if I go through something tough, or like I get angry for a second, I think right as we speak, there's people like packing like all their kids, strapping them to their body, trying to cross the ocean for a better life. Like as we speak, and they're probably unfortunately drowning. God bless them. So it's like it really could be worse. Like especially growing up in Brazil, like you see a lot of craziness. You know what I mean? Like we think like, oh my gosh, like this is the worst thing to have. No, like you're lucky to have a first world problem. It could be much worse,
Exactly. And, let's keep it real. Us Americans, we're spoiled. Mm-hmm. We have all the resources in the world. Yeah. And I feel like because, America landed the free, we have every race, every nationality, every religion here. And sometimes it clashes. Even the political parties. Yeah. Like, we have so many different groups. It's hard to keep up. And I feel like you can't even have, you see how we're having a conversation talking about so many different things. most people can't even sit this long and communicate without an argument or a fight.
That's so funny you say that, because when I started this podcast, right, the thing that I learned, I would say, about the human experience, right, was how, you know, a lot of times at the end of every interview, people, like, as soon as we're done, you know, recording, this is it, thank you for coming, cut. Everybody will like be like, oh, was that good? Did I do well? Did I say what I should? Blah blah blah. Everybody, it could be like the most, you know, self-confident person to the most conscious person. Everybody has the same thing. And then I was like, this is a conversation I had with my mom, because I was like, if you put every like political person in a room with each other for an hour, no PR, no manager, no publicist, no press secretary, one-on-one, face to face. There would be no war. There would be no drama. It would just be like this. You know what I mean? No beef.
No one. And then another thing, no one respects each other. You know what's so funny? America, especially people that live here, they talk about diversity so much. But then when a person has a different thought and idea, oh, we don't want that diversity.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
But you can't pick and choose when you want to be inclusive, and then you only want to be inclusive when someone's saying something that you like. Yeah. And it can't be like that.
No, I totally agree.
You have to be inclusive all around. You have to be respect diversity all around. Like, you know, during the election between Biden and Trump, I have a friend who was a Trump supporter, right? And he was getting so much backlash on social media for supporting Trump. It was the election between Trump and Hillary, not Biden. Excuse me. This is when his first term. So my friend was getting so much hate on social media and stuff like that. And people used to ask me, why are you friends with a Trump supporter? And I'm like, why are you friends with a criminal? Why are you friends with a person that sells drugs? Why are you friends with a person that abuses their girlfriend? Yeah. Or why a girl abuses her boyfriend? Yeah. You know? Trump?
No, yeah, because I feel a lot of people, like, I feel like nowadays people, it's all about, you're not listening to me. I'm going to keep talking. I don't care what you think, and you're going to agree with me. So it's just like it's almost like two bullets trying to go at each other. Yes. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And, you know, and I remember he asked me one time, not asked me, I told him, I'm like, you're my friend. He's been there. My friend been with me through it all. See me at my worst, right? Just because he has a different thought process than me, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a Trump supporter, the hell with you. No. You know, let's keep it real. There's a lot of stuff that Trump said that people agree with. They just don't agree with how he said it, you know. And I might get flack right now for even saying that, disagreeing with some of the stuff he said. But at the same time, I respect my friend, who he is as a person. I love him. He loves me. And, you know, we have a respect for each other, you know, and I feel that's very important. That's how you know when you have a true friend. When you guys can agree and disagree, you argue, you fight, you move on. Yeah. You don't linger. And a lot of people that say they have friends, they really don't have friends. You know, I tell people, is this person friends with you because you might know more people or have more followers? If they're just your friend for one thing, when something really bad happens, let me tell you something, you will know who your friends are when you are at your bottom.
That is true. That is true.
That's how you know when you have good friends.
And I feel like that's like one of the things I like about New York. It's like people will put away, you know, people are always busy going to where they gotta go. But as soon as you need help, people will stop, help you up. You good? All right, let's keep it moving. You know what I mean? Yep. And how do you know, like, in regard, like, going back to mental health, like, how do you unplug your mind? Because you have so many businesses going on, you have so much to do, you're like in charge of so many things besides having a great relationship with your mother. Do you ever do, like, for example, like no phone days? Are you like even able to do that because you're so busy? Like, do you unplug sometimes?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start my own business, because you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
When you work for someone else, you're on their time. You're answering their phone calls, answering their emails.
Too, yeah.
Expect whether get coffee or whatever stuff they put you through the ringer. That's one of the reasons why I started my own business, so I can take clients when I want to take clients. If I want to stop making money, I can stop making money, you know. But you're always gonna work harder in the beginning. So when you get to that level where you start hiring employees. I mean, look what Rihanna did. She was the CEO of her company for a very long time. She got it started. She don't need to be there every single day, you know. Yes, she's gonna still make the decisions, but she let someone else handle, you know. She got it to where she needed it to be. Now the person that, you know, she gave that position to knows her, understand her, how she likes to market her brand, you know. So
and I think that's part of being a good leader, knowing when to step down and let somebody else lead, but also, you know, keeping tabs and everything. Do you remember that interview Fat Joe did that he was talking about his entourage, how he had like 30-40 people with him, all his friends, and then he said on down, he's like, listen, fortunately, I don't have money anymore, so I don't know what you guys want to do. And then he said only 3 of his best friends stayed around. They're like, don't worry, you're still our best friend. And this shows you how people are like that. You know, kind of like, what do you call those little things, like bloodsuckers that like you get on your, like when you're hiking or whatever. But it is like that, and you really got to watch out for yourself, because it's a lot of sharks out there.
It is.
And God forbid, like, you know, you end up in a conservatorship like it has happened to some very talented, nice people. And that's another thing I tell people. If you really want to protect your mental health, stay away from mental people. When I say mental people, I'm not talking about the people that can't help how they were born. I'm talking about the people, the negative, the people that's always putting you down. Or everything down. Like, nothing is good enough. Or I'm bored. This is whack. Let's go. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
The person has a... You know how you could just... like people's energy
and the vibration
off, you can sense it. It's like when that person, you ever been in a social setting with your friends, right? Y'all all laughing, and then when a person walk in, like in your
it's like
area,
somebody slapped in the back of your neck.
It's like you feel like the music stopped.
It's like
like, and then that person just bring an aura, and you just be like,
it's just negative energy.
You?
But it's funny because when you pick that up, I feel like 0.1% of the population of the planet have access to this, and I'm very much like you. Like, I can always tell people's energy right away, and I always tell my friends, like, watch out for Shadi. I'm telling you, I don't know about this one. They're like, no, you're just being annoying. You're picking on them. Like, no, I'm telling you. And then like a few months later, what I exactly predicted and said about that person's character comes to light, and people are like, how did you know that? That's so crazy. Like, you know, who told you? I was like, no, I sensed it. I told you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because we're all like vibration. We're all like water, let's say, you know?
Yeah.
And you feel it. It's just like, but it's so good to be with people that are like, I would say like, haven't gone through things in life like you have, and still have like a optimistic point of view. Because like sometimes I'll be like, you know, be like out in the city walking around, and then everything, their mindset is just happy. Like, what a beautiful sunrise today. What a beautiful this. What that I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm like, wow, I'm really like, I need to change my, you know, perspective on life, because I'm figuring out all the bad stuff that's happening around. But it's always good. I think that helps a lot with your like mental health, and seeing the positive instead of the negative, because it motivates you and it keeps you to the other thing. You know, and then looking back and seeing how much you accomplished so much too. And I'm just thinking, I need this. I need to get to the. I think timelines I'm very guilty of that, but timelines for me, like, I live my life around time. It's like, this needs to happen. This is my goal. This is my plan. And when it doesn't happen, oh my God, it's like heartbreaking. But then learning to like, okay, what's plan B? Let's go to plan C. You know what I mean? I think that's the best thing.
You know, it's so funny when I hear people argue on social media. When I say people, I mean like this whole thing on social media now, man versus woman, what a woman's supposed to be doing, what a man is supposed to be doing. And I'm like, all this y'all just wasting time. Everyone's common enemy, whether it's man, woman, trans, all this stuff that people just fighting each other about, the biggest enemy to everyone is time. While you guys are wasting time arguing back and forth, you're wasting energy that you can never get back. You're wasting time you could never get back. While y'all sitting there arguing, I'm going to spend as much time with my mom and my family.
And learning,
Yes, exactly. While I'm on this earth, I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to view someone. Like too, I don't want to view someone as my enemy unless they, come past my line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like actively invade your space.
Like, that's why I shut down negative people real early. Like I told, if my friend is having a bad day, go over there with that. Don't come over there, because if you want me to act like how we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
You time out. Then when you come back and be my friend again.
Yeah. No, that's how I am. Like, if I'm having a bad day and I have plans, I'm like, listen, I don't want to come ruin today, but this is what's happening. It's better I stay home and chill and take a bath, because I don't want to be like the party pooper,
Yeah, that's how I am. If I know I'm not in the mood and my friends invite me out, sometimes friends, they want to be like, if you're having a bad day, come out.
No, I hate that.
And I'll be like, listen,
when
I tell you I'm having a bad day, I'm really having a bad day.
I'll be in my apartment listening
exactly.
to DMX punch in the air. That's my bad day.
I tell people, like, if a person's telling you they have a bad day, let them have that bad day. Because now what ends up happening is, if you keep telling people, let it go. Yes, eventually it'll gradually happen, but throwing in someone's face, let it go, let it go, let it go. That's how people don't get through certain traumas that happen in their life. Like, you have to let people be emotional. You have to sometimes, like, get it all out. When you're ready to talk, then let's talk. Like, when me and my friends get into an argument, I'll be like, well, I'm gonna let you have your moment, but when you ready to be my friend and have a civilized conversation, then you know where to find me. Then my friend be like, whatever, and then we talking like the next day.
I'm like that too.
But that's why I tell, let people have their moment. If a person's telling you not today, just be like, you know what? I'm not gonna pressure the issue because I just aggravate people more. I'm gonna let you have that.
No, and people, I think, also, like, reading the room. People are so different. Like, I have friends that when they have a bad day, they'll still come out. Like, we have like dinner plans, and they'll tell me how horrible their day, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you here? Like, I would be home, like, kicking the air like Jet Li. And like punch in the air. And some people like that interaction, and some people like me don't. We need our alone time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I recharge in my alone time. It's like that saying, I'm not lonely, I like to be alone. You know what I mean? Because people associate when you want to like have 2 days by yourself that, oh, you're lonely, or you need to go out, or blah blah blah. It's like, no, I'm like, trust me, this is like better than a spot right now. Like, I'm having so much fun.
Like, I tell people all the time, when people say, like, I'm good being by myself, stop getting mad at people when they say, oh, I like being alone. They're not saying that they like to be alone all the time. But to them, it's like, if I'm alone, fine. If I'm around people, fine. That's okay. But some people just be so mad and be like, why? That's not the meaning of life. That's not this. That's not that. And I'm like, looking at them.
But meanwhile, they're like in an unhappy marriage with God knows what's going on.
What I'm saying? Like,
it's like hypocritical.
Like, that's why when I be looking at all these, like, other different podcasts and stuff like that about you, I'm pretty sure you see them all the time. Now is this big thing where man versus woman right now. All over social media, Instagram, and I be listening to what men want from women and what women want from men, and I'm just listening to their conversations like, y'all don't have nothing else better to talk to. This is not really an issue, and this is not really a problem. Y'all making it a problem.
No, I know what you mean.
I tell people, men and women are very different. Physically, everything else. If you want to find someone, just be yourself. If they don't want to accept you, fine, move on. But I keep telling people, the problem is when you trying to change someone that don't want to change, you falling on deaf ears. You have someone that's willing to give you that time, and especially that wants you to be a better person, go over there to that person. Why? I just feel like people just want to be around people that argues all the time. Like, you see what I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I don't understand why people invest so much energy into people that's gonna make them not be a better
version.
Even with friends, like you ever have a friend, right, that tells you about yourself, but then you have other friends that's saying, yeah, babe, yeah, keep do this, do this, but you're burnt. You end up becoming burnt out with those friends, and then you end up going back to your friend, was like, see, I told you should have never did it, but you bash the friend that's so willing to be honest with you, and you have yes ma'ams around you.
No, that's very dangerous, because I think that, you know, there's a difference between negativity and constructive criticism. And I feel like people get that confused a lot nowadays, you know?
Exactly.
Like, constructive criticism, I love it. You know, I never get offended. Like, a lot, especially like when it comes to art, when people are like, okay, you know, this doesn't look good, work on this. I'm like, oh my God, thank you, that's amazing. A lot of people get offended. They're like, how dare you criticize me, blah, blah, blah. But I think that goes like in every aspect of life, you know? If they're truly your friend, they want the best for you, they're not going to, you know, give you a critique in a negative way to bring you down. They're gonna be like, you know, I would suggest this, or why don't you try this out? You know what I mean? Or if your friend is sounding like Precious mom, then maybe you gotta get some new friends.
Exactly. But you know what's so funny, especially me being a woman, I look at podcasts now where they tell women guys and girls cannot be friends because the guy only wants sex from them. And I'd be like, I can't help it if I'm attractive. And that can happen with girls too. In this day and age, I could have a girlfriend that low-key wants to be my girlfriend, not just regular friend, my girlfriend. So in this day and age, it works both ways. You see what I'm saying? But we focus, that's the problem. See, women
focus on the small things so much. Like we were talking about how, like, you know, our minds go for like 2 minutes what you wish you could do, but then it goes back to reality and what you can do. But now, like, I always used to be like, oh my God, I wish I could just like grab this person and throw them across the room, right? But now I always think like myself as on a conveyor belt. You know how they have conveyor belts on the factory? Like, and then like each section gets something done, and then you get like thrown in a box and you're ready for shipment. That's how much time we have on Earth. Like, when you think of yourself as like disposable meat almost, you know what I mean? Like, we all got like what, like a good 80 years if we're lucky on this planet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's not a lot. Like, am I really going to spend caring time about what you think when who cares? Seriously. You know what I mean? Just eye roll and keep it moving.
Because I'm not going to lie. I have more, and, you know, people may, although people on Instagram may get, like, I have more guy friends than I do girls, right? And I see a lot of guys be like, oh, I bet you if you call them up now, they would want to, you know, do you or whatever. And I'm like, okay, and I have girlfriends that would want to do the same. So it is what it is. But one thing I've learned about myself having guy friends, they actually taught me a lot about other men and to what to look out for. You know, if you don't, honestly, I feel like if you don't have a positive father figure or just a positive male figure in your life as a woman, sometimes you do need positive men that's in your corner telling you the real. And I tell people all the time, like, I felt safe around my guy friends. They never disrespect me. Never. And I tell people, maybe it's the type of men that you're around. You know, because my thing is, if you're going to sit up there and say, as a woman, I can't have guy friends, that's like you saying everything that women has been saying about men for why they're dogs. You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense. I know a lot of good men.
Yeah. You're reminding me. You're on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video of that girl, the lady that goes sprinkle, sprinkle?
Yeah. Yes, I see it.
She be
I
cracking
seen
me
that.
up.
I seen that.
But it's so true. Like, I think it's so important for people to like look at different perspectives, even if it's something you don't agree on. But I feel like as human beings, as long as we're not harming each other or attempting to harm each other, let people live. You know what I mean? Everybody can have a different perspective. Like I love, like when I moved here from Brazil, and people tell me, "Oh, go back to Brazil, blah blah blah. You're immigrant, don't belong here." Like I remember I used to get so offended and argue, but then after a while, like you get so desensitized. And I remember thinking, okay, we're both young, like we're young kids in elementary school. Like obviously he hears that from somebody. So I remember like early age, I used to be like so curious. How did you get this point of view? Like who told you this, right? So it went from like getting angry to being curious and getting angry later. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of people sometimes would be like, oh, I heard this, or I seen this, but then when you get to the root bottom, it's just like misinformation. You know what I mean?
Misinformation.
Yeah, and a lot of times people don't even know what they're defending. Like they don't even know. Like when you keep asking questions more and more, they run out of answers. You know? Because I feel like people. Sorry to interrupt. Like sometimes humans don't have that much in their life. They just need a problem, and they need that mission. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if you figure that out soon enough, then you can just avoid yourself a lot of headache.
That's what's so fun. Continue to what you said. See, I always tell people like humans, we're animals.
Yeah.
So being said, we could be very tribalistic in a way.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it starts when you start school.
Yeah.
You know, everyone picks a certain clique that they vibe with. You know, not saying the nerds, the jocks, like that movie Mean Girls, like, you know, survival of the fittest, you know. So I always tell people we're tribalistic by nature, and that even goes to where you could have two people that don't like each other, but because they see you as a common enemy, they'll become fake friends.
Yeah, to hate on you.
Hate on you because they have a common enemy.
Yeah.
And I tell people I tell this to people all the time. And going back to we talked about friendship too. There's a lot of people who are friends and only friends out of convenience.
Yeah. That is true.
Not have no genuine friendship. Like if you're only calling a friend for them to do a certain service, then that's not your friend. Yeah. Because real
that's
friend,
a coworker,
you
basically.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like someone who's my friend better pick up that phone at 3:00 in the morning if I just have a tummy ache, and you're gonna listen to me have a tummy
and complain,
ache.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if they, and I see this all the time, if someone's just calling you because someone just had a fight. And they only call you for that. That's how you know what type of friend that you have. If a person's only calling you to do a certain service for them, then that's not a friend. That's a friend for convenience. Yeah. And a lot of people don't have genuine friendships with people. They have friends who they are just friends with for convenience because they're afraid to be alone, or you know, they just have the time, or they, like I said, they just don't want to be alone. But that's one of the major reasons, and that's how you could tell. That's
amazing. That's so good that, you know, I think, like, I agree with what you said, but I also wish that I knew this sooner, you know? And you know what I mean? Like, it would have saved so much headache and time. And what's something, like, if you could go back in time and tell yourself, like, something business related, like whether it's like a business strategy or like the business side of handling your business, what would you tell your younger self? Like, if you go back in time, just to save you a lot of time and headache and money, to be like, hey, you know, read the contracts, read the fine print, you know, protect yourself.
That's a good question. And I have to pause for a minute because, see, me, I'm an independent and I'm a creator too. I used to collab with so many people just for the strength of I love what I do. Business never came to my mind. It was always a second thought to me. Yeah. It's not until I got into a situation to where I collab with someone, right? I did the logo, I designed the website and everything, and they was making money off the products that I was designing. Wow. And they copyright my work first. So that changed everything for me, because when I was doing research about that, people don't care if you was the first to create anything.
Yeah.
People care if you're the one that got legal documentation stating that you own it.
Yeah. Basically, if you have the patents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I tell anyone that's starting their own business, do not collab. Do not work with people unless you got some documentation stating who owns what shares, goes to what person, what contracts, because let me tell you something. When money starts to get involved, people change. 100%. People change. And that is like one of the things that I've learned getting into business now. Because before I was drawn to draw. Yeah. And you have to watch out for those people who know you're a talent, but you're not educated in the business side. When I drew something, I wasn't thinking about, how can I market this? I should put this on a t-shirt and stuff like that. People would be like, you're a good drawer. Yeah. Right?
Ooh, what can I do with that? That's what they're thinking.
I could probably make her sign an NDA. She could be my in-house designer, graphic designer. Yeah. She could make all the designs, and I could just slap my name on it and pay her whatever while I'm getting millions.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that happens a lot.
It happens a lot. I mean, look at the strike that's going on now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the writer's strike. It's so sad, and it never dawned on me. It's like, damn, people that work behind the scenes and make these stars, and I'm going to say it, these stars, what they are, and make these artists sound the way they sound, these writers, and the people that hold up the camera, for the people that hold up the lighting. It takes a team.
It takes a village, and people don't understand that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it takes a village.
They get into the business themselves, or they start something that has to do with that environment.
Exactly.
They don't understand how many people are relying on the talent. Like even talk show hosts. You only see the person, but there's almost like 300 people behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Running
no one
around.
Cares.
Yeah. Everybody, like when they think of the show, they think that person only, but they don't understand there's like a screenwriter, camera, 1, 2, 3, 7, manager, publicist, somebody that books the guest, somebody that does this, somebody in charge of the like food service table. It's like so many people,
Yeah. And I guess that's what that strike is all about, because it's like, and I would feel some type of way if I'm a writer to a hit show and these executive producers are making so much money on these films and television series. That's like me getting paid $10,000 for me writing for a hit show on a major network, and you got someone that just had more money than me, finance the project. Yes, they finance it, they finance my work, but I'm the creator. No one will be making money without my thought
and creativity
and my creativity. That's a slap in my face. And I gotta watch this show when I go home. It's like
a slap in the face and a slap in the back of your head.
That's like if I had kids and my kid is coming up to me like, "Mommy, I'm hungry and I ain't got money to feed my child," but yet I'm watching this show that I wrote, win Emmys and this, that, and the third, and I don't have enough money to feed my child. I gotta tell my child I don't have it, but yet I'm sitting at home watching a show that's getting all these awards, all these acknowledgments and everything. Ratings like that.
Super high. No, that's tough. Like,
I will be pissed.
You gotta know. That's what I always tell, like, because I get a lot of, and that's gonna be the next question. Because I get a lot of questions from young artists, and I always tell them, like, when they ask me, I always say, like, know your worth, know your rights, get the business side of whatever you're doing first in order before you do anything. You know what I mean? As I mentioned, like, have the contracts ready, register stuff if you need to, copyright, trademark, do whatever you have, and then start doing the business part. Like, you have to protect yourself and think of the future. Don't just, I also feel like a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people that sometimes they grow up in a household with like empathy and sympathy. Like we think that everybody's like that. You know what I mean? So like you grow up thinking, oh, I'm gonna help this person because that's the right thing to do. I'm gonna this because it's the right thing to do. But meanwhile, you're like in an ocean full of sharks that are looking out for themselves and their food for the day. Like they don't care about you. You know what I mean? So I think like for those people as well, you have to relearn life, not to give so much of yourself to people who don't deserve yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a big like lesson. We sound like we're in Oprah's Soulful Sunday right now.
I know, right? But you want to know something? Like I miss having these conversations.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't had a conversation like this in a very long time.
It's been a minute.
Because everyone be so uptight now.
Yeah. And
and another thing too, I'm a very talkative person.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like nowadays I don't like interacting with people anymore because people could say, oh, be yourself. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna be myself anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna be myself anyway.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is I'm myself. I'm just, saying my beliefs and my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But now people wanna discredit you and assassinate your character as a person overall. Like people make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell a person acknowledge their mistake and they can say I'm sorry. It's like people, if you ever had a friend, right, that you guys are in an argument, or not even a friend, just an argument in general, right? You're trying to explain to this person why you're upset, and they're just looking at you like
you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're looking at you like,
what did I do?
Yeah, like what are you talking about? But then they're talking about how they felt in a situation. Mm-hmm. How could you feel something when you came after me first?
Yeah, no, I understand. And also, I think like, I don't know, but I feel like back in the day it was so much easier to make friends and talk to people.
It was so much easier.
And I feel like nowadays people are so like shallow,
mm-hmm.
and not just superficial, but just like, I don't know. I feel like everything is so accessible now that, mm-hmm. even like people like certain friends of mine, like we'll talk, and then like if we're grabbing lunch, they like we just want to talk about like shallow things day to day, and if
mm-hmm.
we go too deep, they're like, oh, just call me, or let's just text.
Yeah,
this is like too much thinking, Yeah, like that's why traveling I think is so important for me, because like once I leave America and then I come back and
mm-hmm.
it's like I adjust myself. It's like normal life is outside, and you think, wow, it's really a bubble. Then you come back, you're like transformed.
Yeah, and to add on to what you said, I feel like it was so much easier to make friends because no one was really making a assumption about you before getting to know you. Mm-hmm. If you notice with social media, everyone thinks they know a person.
Oh my God, it's like a double-edged sword.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like me growing up, if I didn't know you, I'd be like, oh, we have more dialogue. Where did you grow up and stuff like that. It's like now with social media, people look at you by how you dress, and so they just, oh, she's a B, or she looks mean.
Yeah, or there's too many selfies. They think you're selfish and conceited.
And not even knowing that maybe that's her job, or maybe that's his job, mm-hmm. or, whatever the case may be. That's the problem. People think they know people by one interview, by one photo, and they're already judging.
No, it's like everything, like data gets consumed at such a fast rate, mm-hmm. and people don't they don't even listen. Let's say if they want to understand somebody or an incident that happened, they don't listen to the whole interview. They're just so ready to bash. They'll give 10 seconds. That's it. That's why people don't make albums anymore. You notice like it's just single, break, single. Because people don't have like the attention span. Like it's like and every day gets short. Even like I noticed lately on TikTok, before people would do like a whole story. Yeah. I was like, this happened. Oh my God, I can't believe. Boom, next video.
Yep, and that's another reason. I think Beyonce said something like that one time. Like she said, no one really. If I can remember, I forgot who was interviewing her. She said no one does a body of work anymore. Yeah. Like they just do one single, the single becomes hot, and then they do another single, just that fast cash. But that actually burns you out more. Yeah. If you really think about it, because see, this is why I tell people Beyonce is smart as hell, right? Beyonce saved probably so much money and not that much marketing of the Renaissance. She put it out.
Yeah.
Everybody, all her fans was doing the work for her.
Yeah, they became
the visuals.
the
She
visuals.
put all that time into her tour.
Yeah.
And she made more money probably from her world tour than probably album sales. Not saying that she wasn't going to make any money off her album, but she always gives more. And that's why she's one of the greatest entertainers of all time. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. I don't care who's going to fight me on that.
She's like, what, top 5? Should we do a top 5?
Yeah, we're gonna
I'm
do
scared we're gonna get
yeah, we're gonna get those.
Who's your
comments.
top 5?
Who's my top 5?
Like the greatest real talented people we're talking about.
Who?
You don't have to number by order. You could just say like a shuffle mix. Yeah, up to you.
No,
if you want number.
Okay, I'm not doing numbers. I'm just gonna say, okay, is this everyone mix?
Yeah, it could be a mix. Yeah, doesn't have to be in order.
Who? As I say, you know how you be sweating. Like let me. Okay, in music.
I would say music.
We have to be in music. Living today, right?
Could be dead or living. Greatest of all, yeah. So.
Okay, then I would say Michael Jackson. Like I would say Michael Jackson is one of the greatest. Whitney Houston. You know what's so funny? I'm gonna say DMX don't get that much credit. But he was so smart and so talented in writing.
Like I don't think our generation gets how big he was. Because one time I was like looking at his album sales, like he was pulling in figures like his was like certified diamond for some albums. That's like $10 million. I'm sorry, 10 million copies.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing too, I tell people, there were times where Jay-Z album, DMX album came out the same time, and DMX probably sold more than him. I believe. I don't remember what year. Yeah, I don't remember what year it was, but he just don't get that much credit. I would say, him. It's just sad when a lot of rappers they end up becoming on drugs and stuff like that. So it kind of halts their creativity. But I would have to put him up there because. Let's keep it real. People play his music and it just gets you amped. You really
I think he did Glastonbury like back in the day. Yeah, and that whole crowd knew word for word.
Word for word.
Yeah, this is like pre-social media too. So this is like I think late 90s. I think
late 90s. And then another thing, I would have to put Eminem in there.
Okay.
I would have to put Eminem in there because let's keep it real. Eminem. That last album he did, was it Murder by Madness? Or Murder by Me, something like that?
I didn't check it out.
No, but you have to check out that album. Like he still got it, man. Like I love Eminem, the way he spit. And I love, this is how you know when a rapper's a good rapper. Yeah. You listen to the song all the way through, but then you have to go back multiple times to even figure out what they say. Yeah. Nicki Minaj will have to go on that list. I'm a buy.
Period. Who is it? But for me, I think musically, like the greatest would be like not in order, like Whitney, Michael, Mariah, 17.
Yes.
I mean the songwriting credits that she has and melodies and stuff and the voice. So we have like Whitney, Mariah, Michael. I would definitely say Beyonce.
Yeah, Celine Dion.
But I would also say Aretha Franklin and Patti LaBelle.
Yes.
That would have to go like back to back for me. I think those are the ones.
Honestly, I'm more content with the artists you said more than what I said.
But I feel like for a list of new artists, what you said is better. Yeah.
Because
but for example, like if I had kids, that they will grow up like the first 5 years with those 5.
Yes, and then later on,
they'll be like, okay, now here's "Beam Me Up, Scotty" by Nicki. This is the Bible.
This is the vibe.
Yeah, and then "Blackout" by Britton. That's also a banger album.
Yes, and whoo, Jesus Christ, you just brought me back. Like
I feel like we went through like a business podcast, a mental health podcast.
Yes.
Back to business. Now we're like music. We're like Joe Biden's podcast. Give me your top 5.
Yeah, because that, you know what's so funny? When you could talk about different things, that means that you've been around different. That's why I tell people, like, normally people that get mad easily, when you talk, they can't keep up with you in a conversation because they're not as open or never seasoned. Was open. Yeah, they're not seasoned. Yeah, they don't have. Yeah, they definitely. Yeah. They know Goya no adobo.
Yeah,
like no seasoning.
Because like, do you like? For me, I love reading books, like the physical copy of books. Like whatever I do has to be like the physical. I don't like the electronic unless it's electronic work or music or a podcast. You know, if you can't have it in physical, but like. You remember, like, being a kid, like, getting your little allowance money for the week, running to the record store, buying the physical CD, running back, opening the book, looking at every lyrics, reading the thank you, and then listening to the CD. Like, it just slaps different, as they say.
And speaking of, like, talking about going in the past, I still got my Barbie dolls.
No way.
I still got
your grandma keeps them?
No, it's actually in my closet.
No way. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
I still got all my Barbie dolls.
Wow.
Back in the day.
That's so funny.
I even have 2 dolls, Barbie dolls from the international collection that they did.
Oh, wow.
Where they have Cleopatra Barbie.
No.
And then Russian Barbie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
Oh,
like,
my God.
You know.
You should reach out to Christie's. They could do a whole auction. Who knows? Because those go up for a high value.
I even got my Spice Girl
dolls. No way. I didn't know they even made those. Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh, my God.
My God, Spice Girls were like...
I even got the Spice Girl lollipop that I saved.
No way.
Yup.
That's crazy.
I still got my PlayStation 1.
Oh, wow.
You know,
I still have my Sidekick. I love my Sidekick.
To be honest with you, they need to bring the Sidekick back.
Imagine the Sidekick. This is what I tell everybody. Imagine the Sidekick. The screen, touch screen. You flip it, and you have a physical manual keypad. It just hits different.
Yes, exactly. Like, and this is your idea.
Yeah.
So if they do come out with it, they better give you a percentage.
I know, because if they're bringing back the flip phones, you know, but touchscreen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Sidekick was everything.
Oh my gosh! Like the Sidekick was it. It was like a BlackBerry and an iPhone together. You know.
The only phone I wasn't excited about when it came out was the Boost Mobile.
Which one?
The way you at the
walkie-talkie.
Oh my God, I hate it.
I love the commercials, but they're so annoying in real life. If you're in public,
it was so annoying.
Yeah,
like
the walkie-talkie ones.
Because I'll be like, I can't hear you. They be like, let your hand go off the button. Oh, okay. I'm like, I said, listen, I'm about to go get a walkie-talkie. We gonna be doing all this.
Yeah, I had like a Mickey Mouse walkie-talkie. I remember it was so much fun.
I think, I remember I bought one. I had the gray one. I was in class, and my cousin was like, "Where you at home?"
Yeah.
And the class was like, I said,
yeah.
Can you hear me? I'm like,
because you couldn't.
Out.
Could you mute it or put it on vibrate like the talkie person?
The thing about the Boost mobile phone is like when I turn down the volume, you have to make sure you turn down the
way. Yeah.
So I was inclined like, where you at? I'm like, hello.
No, but those commercials were the bomb. Like it'd always be like the artist doing something. They'd be like, where you at? And
where you at?
Like, oh my God,
I'm over here. Oh my God. That's why I said. That's why I love that woman. Going back to my mom, like she gave me a childhood.
Yeah.
And I feel, and also going back to mental health too. That's why I tell parents the best thing you can do for your child is to make sure they grow up in a setting where they have more likely a chance to not be around so much confrontation.
Yeah, to be kids. Yeah,
exactly. And that goes into living in a certain neighborhood. Because when you live in a certain neighborhood, you got to go to a certain school. That's And I understand parents. You do the best that you can.
We good.
But sometimes you do have control over certain things.
Yeah.
And I just feel like kids are having kids now.
Oh my God, babies having babies.
Yeah,
didn't Tupac say that? Brenda's got a baby. Brenda. No, it is true. And we have like a few songs in Brazil, like Funky, that goes like bebê tendo bebê, and it's so true, you know. And it's just like lack of governmental planning and resources, because this shouldn't be happening. It's like 2023, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But you want to know something? And I may get so much hate from this, but it's the laws that we have in place. They're not really strict enough. That's why I say, like us Americans, we are spoiled. We get away with a lot of stuff. Just like recently, when that young lady, African American girl, went to Dubai, and we were telling you before the story, you know, she's got arrested and in jail. Because my thing is, you live over here talking any type of way, cursing,
do whatever you want, how you do
screaming.
it, yeah.
You can't go to other countries and act like that.
Unless you have a lawyer and retainer to save you.
Exactly. You got the best lawyers in the world. But I hope after that situation, she's going to learn to where, and I tell people this all the time. People go where they feel comfortable. Right? People stay in certain environments because they know they can get away with certain things. Because they know how they talk and how they act is not going to be tolerated somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. See, me growing up, I had to learn quick. You know, growing up a certain way. You know, you may talk different because in Brooklyn we had that, you know. But when it's time to sign them contracts, especially when me getting into business that I want to be taken seriously, you're going to have to change your vocabulary.
You got to do your corporate talk.
Corporate talk.
That's what
so I'd be like, hi, my name is Shakirra. How are you today? But then when I'm with my friends, I'm like,
hey, girl. Play Dickie.
Yeah, so I had to learn how to speak, like, informal with my friends, because, you know, when you with your friends, you don't complete sentences.
You don't even think. You just do looks.
You be like, what?
If you have a good friend, you can just like talk for a whole hour just with looks. Like,
but with someone that you don't know, you get so formal and be like, oh no, sir, no, thank you, I don't want that. Like, that's how it is. Like that's why I love like being around different cultures and getting out of my comfort zone.
In your everyday life too.
Everyday life.
Yeah.
And being around different people, different communities, I know how to interact with everybody, not just my own people.
It's unfortunately you need like that, like we were talking about earlier. What was it, the Kia NTS Madison podcast when they got the what is it called in English? Gravel?
The gavel.
Gavel. Boom, boom, boom.
And I tell people that's so quick to come at people, I'm telling you, they're around people that make their ish okay. Yeah. I'm telling you.
No, it is true. Yeah.
Because when you grow up in a community where no one respects anyone, then when you go out of your community, you have no respect for no one. But that community may be built on respect. They're going to look at you like you're weird.
Are you new here? They're going to think to
they're going to be like, you know, we don't use that language around here.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people stay where they feel comfortable at. People like to be around people.
Yeah. Comfortable,
Yeah. But sometimes you may be around the wrong group of people that you laughing early because you know what I'm about to say. Yeah, like that's why that's one of the reasons why I love my mom. Like if I smelled a certain way, my mom would be like, "Yo, we wasn't put some deodorant on or whatever like that." Like because if you ain't got a friend that be like, "Girl," or like take that shit off. That shit look horrible.
No, I think like the worst thing to do to another human being is like to humiliate them or embarrass them. Yeah. And as long as you're not doing that, but you're saying like, you know, this doesn't look good or try this, and you're coming from a place of love, even if it's like tough love. I love tough love, you know, and constructive criticism. I hate wasting time. Get to the point. If you like, you like. If you don't, you don't. Then I think it's good, you know. But like, I don't know. It's like people nowadays, they don't want to think. They just want to feel. You know what I mean? Like even with music. Like if you listen to certain music today, there's no melody. There's no rhythm. It's just like people not doing much.
You know what's so funny is like now everything. Okay, I would say this because I feel like in Hollywood and even in the music industry, if you notice, everything got lazy. Everything. The music got lazy. the movies nowadays, when you go to the theater, is always a live adaptation.
It's
of
always
a
like a
book
remake of a
or
sequel of a trickle,
exactly.
whatever.
How many times you gonna keep doing Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
How many times you gonna keep doing Jason X? How
Yeah.
many times you gonna keep doing The Color Purple? How many times you gonna keep
Fast and Furious.
like you?
No. Why did you see that video on TikTok where that actress was like, "Why are you guys making so many superhero movies? Like, it's getting old, guys."
Yeah, exactly. But
like,
you're in a
you?
movie, exactly. but you're in a franchise of like
10 so far.
Like 10,
yeah.
Exactly. You're in your own little
Like
Marvel
literally,
movie.
cars are like flying into space. Like, how do you explain that? That's why I knew like you out of order.
You out of order. Like,
oh my god.
And to be honest with you, that's why I missed was them two older gentlemen that used to critique movies back in the day.
Two older gentlemen.
Something I think what's his name, Edgar. One of them. There's like these two gentlemen that used to critique movies. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Like on Rotten Tomatoes.
Something like that. We need critics to be brutally honest.
You know who I miss? Joan Rivers. Like sometimes like
so funny if John Rivers was to talk like how
no.
cancel, get that down,
God,
cancel.
Oh my god, like I mean some things were like, oh my gosh, but it's like that crazy sense of humor that you don't take it personal, you just enjoy it. Like Monique. Like I feel like there's certain people they cannot get canceled. Like Monique cannot get canceled. You know,
exactly.
Because she comes from a place of love. When you come from a place of love, you can crack as many jokes, and you know what I mean. Because it's lovingly. It's not bitterness or hatefulness.
Yeah.
When you joke to humiliate people, then you gotta go. Yeah,
you have to go. Like you could. Like that's why I say you have to be careful, especially people that you're friends, but they really haters.
Yeah, low-key haters.
Those are like the most dangerous people to know.
Yeah,
it's people that's in your circle that really hates you.
Yeah, no, those are dangerous. They're not a vibe.
I don't mess with those type of people, but like I said, I'm not dealing with that, and that's why I tell people like you have to be creative. Mm-hmm. Like what I said before. The music industry got lazy. Because if you think about it, in female rap today, right, the reason why Nicki has become one of the most successful rappers of all time, you see how I didn't say just female rapper, because what rapper that was rapping back in the day with Nicki that's still rapping now to this day?
Nobody.
I mean, really think
about it. You gotta think about
it.
Like, you mean like they were in a feature with her?
Okay, I would say this, right? Look at all Nicki Minaj videos that she ever done with rappers from back in the day. Are they still rapping now? Are they still as successful?
Relevant. No. But the thing, I think she's one of a kind because the come up, the mixtapes, like selling your mixtapes out of her car on the highway. Like I said, that's different come up. Nowadays, you have 1 million on TikTok, you drop a song. Most times the people aren't even singing. They get like a write off on a random singer to sing for themselves. Yeah. So it's very different. Talent. One thing I can't stand like that I hate is when people come to me, they're like, you should try this, or try that. Like, one thing I don't like is bad ideas, bad creativity from creative people, and laziness. Like, to me, I cannot tolerate it. Or bad design or bad taste. You know what I mean? Like, something that's tacky. To me, that's just so, like, unmotivational,
You know what's so funny? I feel like the worst critics of all are people that sometimes have money. Because what ends up happening is they think just because they rise to fame that their critique is valid only on the strength of because they have money or because they are famous. I don't like those type of people.
I don't get when people critique something that they haven't done themselves. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly.
Like how are you gonna?
If I'm a rapper, the only people that could
are
critique
rappers,
me
are people that push their pen and write
that
raps.
Push their pen.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes when I look at a lot of these bloggers that talk about rappers nowadays and who's the better than that, why don't you become a rapper? You tell me how easy it is.
But
I'm not going to talk about something I have no knowledge in.
Once you understand certain things in businesses, you can read through the fine line and see what payola is. Because there's a lot of payola going on all the time, everywhere, even as we speak right now. You know what I mean? There's, yeah.
And I like I said.
Wait. Can we talk a little bit more about the Torain group that you founded?
Yes. So the most recent business that I'm developing right now is in the beginning stages, Torain Media Group. So basically, I created this business because I noticed that a lot of creatives in like the fashion, beauty, luxury and lifestyle industry, they have the content, but they don't know where to put it and where to place it. And I tell any small business, the most expensive thing in your budget is going to be advertisement and marketing. But you can do it at an affordable price that's not going to cost you a lot. Because it's okay to start small. And I tell a lot of business that you have a small business, you can't go to a big corporate PR company. They're gonna charge you like $10,000 and up. Per minute, probably. That's why I always say you gotta have like a business strategy and a business plan. So with Torain Media Group is basically what it sounds like. I have a group of people who I partner with that could better help my clients talk about their brand, their product, or whatever service that they provide. So, and I help them with their content. So right now, in terms of people in media that I like to partner with, is podcasters, people that have their own radio shows, influencers, and I help match based on what their niche is. So if you're a lifestyle blogger and I know a lifestyle brand, I'm that middleman to connect them and just produce and create good content, share each other's content. And the reason why I put the group at the end, not just Torain Media, because it's not just me. It's a group of us. Yes, it's my business, but I couldn't do my business without having a strong backing. And it helps me, my client, and the person that I'm partnering with, because it helps them be able to have guests on their show and stuff like that. So everything comes full circle. So I'm really proud of that.
You should be. That's amazing. Congrats.
And so basically I mostly focus on the services that I offer for training is PR, and more editorial and influencer marketing and placement. Then I have media buying, is like helping clients with the process of getting a decent price to have their photo shoot or talk about their product in magazines. So that's advertising, paid media. And then another service I provide is content producing. If I have my client, they want to produce a product, or a TV series or whatever, I help. That sounds so cool. So I'm like the one person stop shop. So that's why I reach out to my partners and be like, hey, I have a client. I send my partners their media kit or any information that I have at the moment on them, and then so that way they can able to get familiar. Their, they'd be like, Shakirra, they can come on this day, interview this day, this time, and then we all tag each other and promote each other's stuff.
Definitely, I like that. And then I also I saw something on Instagram, Torain Models. Can you tell us a little bit about that? So
Torain Models is a business that I started. Realistically, it's underneath Torain Media Group. It's like an umbrella, right? So I would say Torain Media Group is like the parent, and then I have Torain Republic, which is just a creative, like the sister companies, and then Torain Models. So with Torain Models, what I do is mostly I'm a scouter and a mother agent. So more model management, not a model agency, because that's two different things. I really help models build their portfolio so that way they can get into those major, modeling agencies like Elite, Select,
Wilhelmina,
Ford, DNA models and stuff like that. Because like I tell models, you spend so much money dealing with these amateur photographers, and some amateur photographers is good, but at the same time, you really want a good body of work to be able to show them that. And
somebody trustworthy behind you. Because all these scams with let me build your portfolio, give me 15 grand. You know?
And because I work behind the scenes, I hear what a lot of casting directors used to say. When I used to help produce fashion shows, like New York Fashion Week, I hear what the casting director says.
Yeah, what they're looking out for.
Her portfolio, her comp card. This little stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't realize, especially with models. Yeah. That people won't want to work with you based on your comp card.
No. When I was a kid, I was doing TV commercials and we had comp cards. And I remember my first comp card there was too much information. It was too busy.
It was too much.
And I remember it was like a Disney commercial and I got turned down for it. But I remember having these certain things and, like a commercial portfolio, like a more high fashion pictures, you know what I mean? Like depending on the customer. But yeah, it's very complex. Because
I always tell people, you ever seen a model, right? When you do your model digitals, that's your most naturalist form, right? They judge you on that. But sometimes modeling agencies will look at your model digital photos and be like, he can't do high fashion. But they're saying that because you have no high fashion photos.
Yeah.
So they don't know,
No, it's crazy. People cannot visualize things. Like a lot of people
too hard
in the
for
world.
them.
Yeah, so that's why they always say, go bareface, no makeup, very simple, a tank top and jeans, because people want to see what they can do to you as the canvas.
Exactly.
Do you mind telling us your Instagram and website, please?
Oh, God. My Instagram is Shakirra Torain, NYC.
Do you mind spelling it for us?
So it's SHAKIRRATORAIN NYC. That's my personal account.
Gotcha.
So my business account is Torain Media Group, which is my last name, Torain Media Group. And when you follow that account, it has all my other businesses attached there. So you can just click.
So we can just go to one and then follow all the other
just follow
ones.
Perfect.
Else. Same thing for the website?
Same thing for the website.
Can you just list the website just in case?
So it's www.torainmediagroup.com.
Perfect. So if anybody's listening right now and they need somebody, a creative director, as talented as she is, please reach out as soon as you can.
Reach out, honey.
Period. Thank you so much again for being on the podcast. It's been a pleasure. I believe this is probably the longest podcast I've done, almost 2 hours.
What?
I don't know if you can believe it. Almost 2 hours. Period on that. And hopefully we see each other soon and can catch up later.
I know.
That'll be perfect. Yay. Thank you again for being here.
I always come through for you.
Oh, thank you, boo. Bye. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.